Hi everyone in Flight Simulator Land. My name is Ian from 737yokesforyoursim.com, and today I'd like to do a short video to show and demonstrate our 737 dual-linked yoke system. Now the yokes are self-centering and they are dual, so I'll show you those. Right and left, and as you can see they turn a full 90 degrees and they come back to center right on the button, as you can see. The yokes are made of fiberglass and they have 3 buttons. We have the trim button here on the top, down and up. We have the autopilot disconnect button, and the little red button around the back here is your mic button. On the right hand side, if you wanted to have a trip meter on there, you could, if you're doing holding patterns and so forth. We don't put those in. If you wanted to do it, you could, but it would void your warranty if you took everything apart. But there was a cap there for them to come off and be put in. Also on the right hand side, you'll see that is used on the right hand side for the switches, which are on the right hand side on the first officer and on the left hand side on the captain. The chart holder is made of aluminium. It's got a clip for your charts, and it's got a slider for your checklist. It's got a full checklist: before takeoff, after takeoff, descent and landing. So it is as in a real 737, and also it's fully adjustable. Very nice product. The elbow here is made of polyurethane, and it's to exactly the same specs as a real 737 elbow. I make them out of a mould which I made, and then I get them milled out to take all my internals, the steel shaft, a large bearing, a smaller bearing, and all the cogs and the potentiometer and so forth inside there. The steel shaft is connected to the wire cable which runs up and down inside the column. I give it 4 coats of undercoat, which is a special plastic paint made for plastic, which is very strong, and then I give it a light sand before putting a final top coat on, and I put 3 top coats on to give it a really nice finish. The column and the rest of the system is powder coated. The reason why we powder coat is because it gives a really nice finish, and it's a very strong finish, and it's baked at 200 degrees. I played around with PVC. Number one, it would melt, so you can't powder coat it, and number 2, it just doesn't matter what paint I used, it just continued to get scratched, so we don't use it anymore. Now inside that column there's a conduit as well, which runs up and down inside, which carries all the wires. It's glued to the side, and it carries all the wires from the buttons and the potentiometer, and we need to keep them separate because when the cables are moving up and down, they'll rub against the wires otherwise, so that's why we've got them in conduit, which is glued to the inside of the column all the way down from top to bottom. We'll come down to the bottom here. You can see the 2 pulleys where the wire cables run across them. They're spaced so they don't move left to right. And the centering spring, which centers it when you turn the yoke to the left and to the right. There's one on each side, and that'll center the yokes. There's also a turnbuckle there as well. There's one on each side, so you can adjust if you need to. The tension. this cover here, that was my cat that just walked past. This cover here is made of aluminium as well, and it's got a rubber running around the inside of it, and that stops it from rubbing against the column. Then we have this plate here, this base plate, helps to brace the base, but also it's made of 5mm thick steel and also powder coated. Looking from above, you can see the bracing arm which runs between the columns, and that is welded on each end, top and bottom, and on that side as well. Now it makes it very, very strong, because when we start tensioning up the cables, I found when I was playing around with PVC, it started to pull in from the bottom, it started to bend, so, and of course that would make your columns move out at the top, so you wouldn't have nice vertical columns. So we don't use PVC. Now the gas struts are here, one here and one here, and they give really good resistance and a really good realistic feel when we pull back on the columns. So I'll demonstrate that to you now. So I'll pull back, let it go, comes back to the centre all on its own, nice and smooth, and we'll push it forward, let it go, back on its own. One more time, pull it back to the centre, and we'll move it forward again, let it go. So nice and smooth and quiet, and it's under your floorboard so you won't see it. On top of that brace bar is the board, which I'll wire all the switches to, and the plug is here, which then runs through to your computer. So that's the Yokes. I hope you liked them. And if you've got any questions or you want to know the specs on it, please go through to my website, and all the information on them is there. And yeah, in the meantime, happy flying.